So, you've got plant burnout, huh? Hey, we've all been there at some point. Your love of plants gets lost in the obsession that takes over. And before you know it, half your collection is struggling because there is just too much maintenance. Well, I'm here for you. I'm gonna lay out all of my tips, which are things that I follow and hold myself accountable towards to make this hobby fun again. Because that's what it's all about. So, let's get right into it. Number 1, grow, don't collect. When we get into a hobby that involves collecting, it's very easy to get into the materialistic mindset of collecting. The hunt for gems and great finds, especially ones at great prices. Which, by the way, just means low prices, because we're all just a bunch of haggle-hungry cheapskates at heart. This desire to acquire is our brain trying to reach a finale that will never come. Oh, now I just need this plant and this plant from my wish list, and I'll be set. You and I both know it's never set. Your collection will never be complete. That's okay, but you have to be okay with that. If you aren't, your brain will drive you crazy, salivating over the hunt to collect. Another very important aspect, this is a drug to many of us. Think about it. When we buy a new plant and bring it home, or get a box in the mail and open it to find a top 5 wishlist plant inside, we feel great. We're excited, we're temporarily satisfied, and our brain remembers that feeling, that trigger. And it's that addiction, that need for a dopamine hit, something that makes us feel really good in the moment, that leads to impulse buying. And when you get into this habit of constantly longing to obtain, rather than maybe admire from afar for a period of time, I know that sounds crazy, right? Your brain latches onto it. That's what makes any addiction so difficult to break. Our bodies and our brains are always in survival mode and hunting for pleasures. These are ancestral instincts. But now that we're not living in caves anymore, and everything is right at our fingertips with the touch of a button, it makes self-awareness and self-control invaluable. Number 2, get off the hype train. Have we not learned, people? It's been years of price fluctuations and market crashes, and yet so many of us still spend way too much on certain plants. And not always because we want it, but because everyone else has it. And I'm guilty of it. One of my first quote-unquote rare plants was a philodendron pink princess, which is a pink variegated version of philodendron arabescens. Honestly, when I first saw it, I didn't love it. Some specimens were quite pretty, but a lot of tissue cultured ones mostly had small amounts of pink on their leaves and were just kind of brown. Poop. They were poopy princesses. But I bought one. Actually, I bought like 3 or 4. God, let's not talk about that. Because everyone on social media was going crazy over this thing, so I got sucked into it. I would buy pink princesses that were lower than the average price for one at the time, even if it still costed me like $90. Trends and fads are so tempting and fun and wild and adrenaline pumping, and that's what makes them so dangerous when it comes to our spending. You don't need to buy that plant right now. You can wait. No, seriously, you can wait. I guarantee you, another one will come along at a much better price in 6 months. By the way, we're mostly talking about aeroids here. If you're out here trying to collect some super rare orchid or bonsai tree or something, that's a different story. But when it comes to the aeroid craze, I guarantee you in 6 months you'll find a much better price for a much better looking plant. And here's the thing, guys, if you still really want that plant after 6 months, hell, you should get it. But don't buy it on a whim or because it's on sale and everyone else has one, so you gotta have one too. Maybe you won't want that plant in 6 months and wish you hadn't spent your money on it. Honestly, who cares if everyone else has that plant? A lot of people collect Hoyas and Monsteras. I only have a couple Monsteras and 0 Hoyas. Every once in a while, I see a big mature Hoya and I think to myself, that's kind of cute, but I can appreciate it from afar. I also love palms, specifically red palms, such as the lipstick palm and the flamethrower palm. I know I do not have the conditions nor the patience to attempt to grow these plants indoors in the north. And believe me, I have tried. So I simply admire them from afar now. I admire them at botanical gardens. I admired them when I went to Panama. I loved seeing them everywhere. I don't need to physically have it. I don't. And you should feel that way too. Don't feel like you have to have a certain plant because someone else has it. It's not a popularity contest, guys, I promise. Number 3, learn more about your favorite plants. I cannot emphasize enough how much my appreciation for the plants I already have in my collection has grown simply by knowing more about them, researching their native habitat, the history of their cultivation, their cultural significance in various parts of the world. So doing a deep dive and learning more about the plants in your collection right now will make you see them in a new light, and you just might fall in love with them a second time. Number 4, get rid of plants you don't love. Taking care of plants is a chore, plain and simple. It's a fun chore because it's part of our beloved hobby of choice, but the more plants you have, the more care you have to juggle on a weekly basis. It's okay to fall out of love with something, including a plant. Don't feel obligated to hold on to it. Imagine a world where you no longer had that plant. Like right now, look at that plant that is just giving you a headache every time you look at it. Imagine your collection without it. Does it make you sad? If it doesn't, then you know it's time to move on. Sometimes we grow a plant for so long that we feel almost obligated to keep it, even if our taste in plants has shifted a bit and we want to make space to grow new plants. Number 5, get rid of plants that are giving you anxiety. Seriously though, why are you holding on to that plant that just refuses to thrive for you? Is it because it was expensive? Was it a wish list plant? Or maybe it was a gift and you feel obligated to keep it alive at all costs. Maybe it has sentimental value. Ask yourself this, if that plant were to drop dead tomorrow, would you feel sad that it was gone or relieved that it's out of your life now, that it's out of your control? You didn't kill it, it died. It's the fates. Did you try to throw it away once but then got guilt-tripped by your own inner voice? The bottom line is this, plants that are challenging to grow can be projects, but they should be fun projects, and they need to be attainable projects. There are certain plants that I have tried to grow and just can't do it, and now I simply admire from afar. I still love the plant, but I made peace with not having it in my collection, at least for now in my current environment. The world is stressful enough, and you deserve to come home to a collection of plants that gives you as much as you give it. Sometimes I just want to tune everything out and bury my head in some plant care for a bit. I even sometimes catch myself just staring at my collection at home, and that is something that can settle my nerves. I look around and think to myself, well, if my world is a mess right now, if I'm a mess right now, which I am most days, at least my home is beautiful. Number 6, decorate your home with greenery. I'ma slap you. I'ma literally slap you. Stop hiding beautiful plants in your grow tents. Stop it. Get some help. Then, take them out and embellish your home with greenery. Show them off as the works of living art that they are. Stop lining them up on shelves. Corral and style them a bit. And stop planting them in red Solo cups. Seriously, can we stop with the red Solo cups? Can we get some pretty vases or beautifully weathered terracotta? Can we get some slick contemporary white pots or some fun, colorful, charismatic pots? Can we have fun with how we display our collections? Yes, I have a grow tent too, but it's only for ugly things. Rehabs, propagations, plant projects, orchids that aren't in flower, no offense orchids, and seedlings. I also use my terrarium cabinet as an aesthetically pleasing grow tent of sorts by throwing props or seedlings in there and watching them grow out on the wall. Guys, the whole reason humans brought plants indoors in the first place was to decorate the home and feel closer to nature. If you've grown the most stunning, most outstanding plant specimen, and it's growing in a tent, sorry bro, I don't care. Yeah, grow tents help control the environment for ideal growth, blah, blah, blah. I get it. But you do realize with some care hacks, you can grow most plants, emphasis on most, without a fancy grow tent. The whole reason I grow aeroids in vases is so that I don't have to lock them away in a tent. The vase is the tent. The vase is the greenhouse. That's my hack. So come on, what do you say? Just take one small baby step and burn your grow tent to the ground. Was that too much? Number 7, ask yourself why you even like plants. It's a big question, but it's the most important one. It's the root of this hobby. No pun intended. Seriously, no pun intended. That was totally by accident. Why do you like plants? Why do you like to buy them? Why do you like to collect them? What's the point? What does it bring to your life? What does it bring to your day? Has this hobby helped you mentally? Has it brought out a passion to your daily grind? I'll finish this video by answering this question myself. I love plants because they inspire me. They motivate me. They don't take a rest day. They don't hit the snooze button. Even the slowest growing plants are always doing something that is essential to their survival. And that is a plant's objective, to survive. But their ultimate goal is to thrive. Plants in your windowsill don't look at the plant next to them and think, ugh, why can't I be as pretty as that plant? Why aren't my flowers that big? Why don't I grow as fast as that plant? Plants don't compare themselves to other plants the way we compare ourselves to other people. They are not trying to be the biggest and prettiest plant in your windowsill. They are simply trying to become the best version of themselves. And they work every day to be the absolute best that they can be. Plants make do with the resources they are given, and they look to no one except the sun. That is why caring for plants, which is really just providing the resources they need to care for themselves, inspires and motivates me. And that, my friends, is why I grow plants. If you like this video, please interact with it. It lets me know if I'm making content you care about or even enjoy. Leave a comment letting me know your thoughts, and maybe share it with a friend. This has been Jake, also known as Plantgate for Life.